Today's society has evolved in such a way that there are people capable of speaking up to two, three, four, five, six languages. Fascinating truth. This is known as multilingualism, which is the ability of a person to be able to speak fluently three or more languages onwards. The use of three or more linguistic varieties by the same individual or community generally leads to linguistic interference. Linguistic interference occurs when one language affects the use of another. For example, if a person speaks English, learns French, tries to speak French, they make mistakes in grammar and word usage. Contact between two or more languages can cause the substitution of some languages for others. The appearance of new languages. For example, sometimes it happens to us that we are in Spanish language and we do not remember a word or phrase from that language, but we remember the phrase or word in the English language, and this can cause problems with effective communication with that individual and confusions. Multilingual speakers may have various skills in each language, depending on their exposure and use. The situation, origin, and capacity of people and communities are taken into account, such as the emergence of new languages or dialects. For example, Puerto Rico's people speak Spanish, sometimes mixed with English. That is, when they speak in Spanish, their phrases or sentences use words from the English language, which is known as Spanglish. So in this country there are many people who speak Spanish and who can also speak English. That is two languages, known as bilingualism. Bilingualism is the ability of a person to communicate in two languages fluently. Another example is that the students of the English language in Venezuela. Our native language is Spanish, but we can learn foreign languages in school or academies, such as English. In the case of Canada, it has two official languages in its constitution, which encourages learning both English and French at school simultaneously. Bilingual speakers can switch between the two languages depending on the context, allowing them to communicate effectively in various situations. Bilingualism can be the result of growing up in an environment where two languages are spoken or learning a second language formally. As explained above, what happens in Canada and Venezuela, another country that has two official languages is also Cameroon, which are the same languages as Canada, French and English. In addition, this country has many other non-official languages, but they are spoken in some parts of the country, such as Ewondo and Douala, spoken by a considerable number of people. So Cameroon can be classified as a multilingual country. In other countries, this linguistic variety does not exist so much. In those countries where only one language is spoken, what is known as monolingual countries or monolingualism. Monolingualism is when a person or community speaks only one language. It's super common, especially in countries with a dominant national language, like the United States or Japan. Monolingual people usually have a deep command of the language, knowing all its variations and native expression of the language, but they may face limitations in communication with speakers of other languages. For example, all Venezuelans who have emigrated to the United States have difficulties when communicating in a country where their language is not their mother tongue, and some of them never manage to learn this native language from the country where they are. Language is the foundation of human connection. It allows us to share ideas, build relationships, and navigate the complexities of our world. That is why it is important to always be in tune with the learning of new languages and the change of cultures around the world.